Hi moms and dads, welcome back to Parenting from Z to A. Today I'd like to continue to focus on the caring connection. As the opening quote suggests, our children grow up to be the people they believe themselves to be. And they learn who they are in a variety of ways and through a variety of people who come into their lives. At first, parents are the sole influences on kids. And as they grow up, peers, teachers, coaches, and so on become significant influence as well. I want to talk to you about how kids come to believe in themselves through unconditional validation. Now, for those of you who thought I was going to say unconditional love, you would also be right, because kids absolutely need unconditional love to feel lovable. And of course, you would agree that you always love your kids unconditionally, no matter what. As important as unconditional love is, so is unconditional validation. So what's this unconditional validation? Well, to validate something, or in this case someone, means to bestow value upon it. Children need unconditional validation just as much as they need unconditional love. This means letting your child know that not only is she always loved, but she's always valued as a person, no matter what. Just as your unconditional love helps your kids learn to love themselves and feel secure and worthwhile, your unconditional validation helps them feel recognized for who they are and begin to feel confident, competent, capable, and appreciated for their own specialness. Showing your child that he is valued needs to occur in a variety of ways and in a variety of situations. Valuing your child for simply existing in your life can be conveyed through love and positive affirmations. Our children need to know that they don't need to do a thing for us to love and to value them. Your child also needs to know that he is valued for the person he is, for the qualities and traits that he has. I frequently ask parents to describe their child in 5 words. Some come up with 5 very positive words, and others, not so much. If negative traits come to mind, like lazy or selfish, I then encourage them to find 5 positive word descriptions. Because while everyone has both negative and positive traits, what I call strengths and weaknesses, it's the positive ones we want to validate. Once we recognize who our child is, then we can show him how we value him for the person he is. For instance, if one of your descriptions is silly, then be sure that he knows that you enjoy this characteristic and validate this special quality. Now, certainly, you may need to help him learn when it's appropriate to demonstrate a particular characteristic and when it's not. But enjoying that quality can help validate this aspect of your child so that he can fully bloom. But what happens if a parent doesn't like or value a particular trait? That can be very difficult. I worked with a child whose father took things very seriously. When he threw a ball with his son, he expected him to throw it back the right way. When he took him bowling, the boy had to follow all the instructions. Sure, we want to teach our kids the proper way to do things. That's not my point here. There needs to be a time to allow the child to be silly, especially if that's a part of who he is. So when he giggled and started throwing the baseball between his legs or tried to see how many gutter balls he could get when bowling, this father had a choice. He could enjoy the moment and validate his son by laughing and joining in, or storm off and call it quits, which unfortunately is what he chose to do. The boy's comment to me, "I don't think my daddy likes me very much." We all have expectations and hopes for our children and dreams about how our relationships will be. For example, if dad was a football player, he may dream of watching his son as the quarterback on the field. Or mom may dream of dressing her daughter in frilly dresses and bows. However, if the son turns out to be uncoordinated and the daughter a tomboy, disappointments can really arise. Then it may be more difficult to validate your child for who she is because of the disappointment of who she's not. Furthermore, if your family is into sports, for example, and one of your children prefers drama and singing, it's crucial to validate those traits. If you don't, then he may feel inferior or as though he is not living up to parental expectations or even belong in the family. I frequently work with families who have fallen into this trap. They may have one very athletic child and another who is artistic with no interest in sports. I have actually seen parents go to one child's sporting event while too busy to attend the other child's school play or band concert. How do you think that child feels? It is perfectly fine to have your own interests and desires for your children. We all do. However, if their interests and abilities do not match your expectation, it's imperative that you keep your disappointment to yourself and support her in her pursuits. If you try to force your child to be someone he is not, or show a lack of interest for who he is, he will feel rejected, perhaps unloved, and even believe himself to have little worth or value. Discipline is another potential pitfall regarding validation. When your child misbehaves, brings home a poor grade, hits his sister, doesn't listen, or whatever, of course you need to intervene. But here's the key. Please address the behavior and not the child. How you handle the situation can directly impact your child's sense of value. Be clear that your disapproval is of the behavior and not his character. Name-calling, labeling, and cursing are very destructive, and children take these words to heart. Instead, focus on the specific behavior and put it in perspective. I believe in your ability to make good decisions can offset the need to discipline a poor decision. And don't forget, your child isn't always misbehaving. Catching him playing nicely with his sister and making a positive comment will help offset the next time you need to intervene. Furthermore, your child needs to be allowed to get past his mistake. Please don't dwell on the misbehavior. If you do, he can begin to see himself as a bad person, and that mistakes are not allowed. We all make mistakes, and yet we all still have value. I also find there are many traits that children need to grow into. As they get older, these traits may serve them really well, but as a child, they can create conflict. Sometimes your child has a trait that can be negative with a positive twist to it. Take strong-willed, for instance, one that many parents use to describe their children. In the long run, being strong-willed might help him stand up to the class bully, say no to peer pressure, or be persistent in a goal. On the other hand, she needs to learn to balance this trait with cooperation and compliance. Teach these lessons while also affording her opportunities to be strong-willed by allowing her to have her own opinions, make her own decisions, and so on when appropriate. So how about you? How do you allow your child to be herself? How do you validate and appreciate his uniqueness and special qualities? How do your child's traits differ from what you had hoped they would be? And when they do, how do you validate them anyway? Remember to nurture your caring connection. Validate your children, and let your words and actions show them how much they are valued. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed it or learned something new, please hit the like button and share with a friend. It really helps out the channel. For more videos and tips for parenting toddlers, teens, and in-betweens, be sure to check out our other content and consider becoming a subscriber and ring that bell if you'd like to be notified of our videos. For affirmations, announcements, and conversations to have with your kids, follow me on Twitter at ParentingZ2A. And if you'd like to join a community of supportive parents looking to be their best just like you, come and join our Facebook community. Link in the description below. I'm Dr. Vicki. Until next time, enjoy your kids.